expansion. It's the 13th of July, Monday the 13th, and I am here to share with you just a quick message. Today is a day that I'm just preparing, as I said, for my next step. And I just sent out a e-blast for the what I'm calling anyhow an estate sale, only because I want people to understand that as I'm advertising in estatesale.net and e-blasting and putting on social media, I want people to understand that not only is this important to me of releasing and being ready for what God has for me in my next step, because it's been a 5-year journey of preparation, but it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to the next step, just being ready. And so letting go of this, and these are lovely things. I mean, this wing chair that I'm sitting in here, and all of these other treasures. But those have seasons, guys. It's a time for everything under the sun. And so it's not a time for anything but excitement and joy, no matter what, God has for me. And basically, I'm going to be working with LifeWave, this amazing science, part of the stem cell science that I've been working with for the last 9 years, helping people not only with regeneration of their body, but also giving them hope and understanding infinite possibilities, not only for themselves, but other people. So it's just part and parcel of this. And so the Propel expansion is really a tool that I'm using to help you understand that it's never too early or too late. There's always hope and infinite possibilities just over the horizon, but you have to take that first step. And that's what I've been doing. The Lord spoke to me 21, August of 21, actually, when I went to pray and spend the weekend in Fredericksburg, because I thought, maybe I'm supposed to relocate, because I had just sold a 18-year business, my luxury day medical wellness spa, Novitas Spa Medical Rejuvenation Clinic. And we continued doing regenerative stem cell. I was using a friend's clinic. Also, of course, the Novitas Spa clinical products sold to salons and spas and the consumer as well. And, I have a website, novitasspa.com. So all of that was continuing on, but I wasn't sure where I should be and should I stay in Georgetown? Should I, let's say, move to Fredericksburg? Should I go elsewhere? And in that weekend, I heard, go home. Now, I questioned God. I said, where's home? Where's home? Meaning I grew up on Long Island. I lived outside of New York City. I lived in the city. I lived in Connecticut. I moved to Fort Worth, Texas. I lived there for 17 years. Moved to Georgetown, Texas, outside of Austin. Where is home, God? Where is home? I say I'm a New York girl, deep in the heart of Texas, but where is home? And so God doesn't answer those questions. So today's scripture that I want to share with you is Isaiah 60:22. At the right time, the Lord will make it happen. So meaning you don't even have to question. When you get that seed of information, that still quiet small voice, after you ask, you seek, you knock, then you just trust. You do what you know to do, and that is what I've been doing. I have been building businesses again these last 5 years, podcasting, building a brand. Initially it was Unique Leaders Live, then I transitioned to the Propel brand, as I launched the Propel program in 21 called Propel Your Business and Life Activation Program. It's based on my 5 C's, clarity, which I've built these businesses over the last 40 years. Clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and compassion. And you must be clear on what your passion and your purpose, but also your why. Why, that really is your purpose. Why are you doing it? What is the reason you want to do this? I've always known I was a creative. I mean, every aspect of what I do has a creative element to it. But my purpose has been revealed to me, which it is through your passion. Your purpose will be revealed if you keep on that path. And over the years, my purpose has been revealed that it is you, to help you identify your dreams, goals, and desires and help you attain them. And so that's through that Propel program. There's 5 videos, 5 workbooks, and interactive working with me. So it's not specifically for the aesthetic spa world. Every business has the same foundation. So it is clarity, courage. You build that courage muscle. Take that step. You're building that courage muscle. And through that courage muscle, you will gain that confidence. And in that confidence, you commit to it. Burn those boats. You commit to it. Nothing will stop you. And then compassion. Because again, and I love this in George Washington's Young Washington. Love the movie. But his mom said to him after he had a resounding failure in for the, I guess you'd call it, what set off the French and Indian War. And he went home and he was going to give up. He just really knew he was not prepared for that. He was a surveyor. He had a desire to be in the King's Army because this was 20 years, I guess, before the revolution started. But he was not born in England. He was not of royal background and lineage. And so he was denied that. But because he was a surveyor, I'm getting too deep in the weeds here, but the point is he failed and he came home and his mother said to him, and I love this word, that failure is a great tutor. And that if you fail and do not learn from it, you again will repeat that. And so to me, the word failure is really not the word I resonate with. It's really, to me, it's a guiding light. It's that teacher, like she said, that tutor that you're learning from, and you pay attention to it and learn from. So Isaiah 60:22, but that because, like I said, Lord, where is home? And so then 5 months later, I was on a business trip and I was going to a seminar, a spiritual retreat in Monrovian, no, what was it called? Moravian Falls, North Carolina, in the country. And so I was driving my rental car, GPS on, and I was at a T in the road in the country. It was a country road, 115. So you either went right or left. I knew I was going right, according to the GPS, and I just knew I was supposed to take a photograph of that. It's like, oh my Lord, I'm late, I need to go. But I knew I was supposed to take a photograph, but I didn't. Made that right, went down the road, not long, and I just turned around, went back, got out of the car, and took the photograph. And then, that was November of 21. And then, in February of 22, I was downtown Georgetown. I had not been feeling well for a little bit, and I was just feeling under the weather, tired, that kind of thing. And so I just said, I got to get out of the house. So I came down to the square, I was walking around, it was a beautiful day, and I went into a building over there, which was a consignment shop at the time. And the gal said to me, "Oh, keep walking. We have more on the other side." And I came through over in the back end of this building, not even the front door, which is right here. Came in the back end, came through. It was a mess, horrible carpet taped. It was a mess. Things hanging from the wall, racks of clothes. It was a consignment shop. Came down the hall. I saw a doorway. I said, "Where am I?" I opened the door, looked up, and there was 115. Wow. Had I not paid attention to that street sign or country road sign, I would have missed the significance of 115. And so, again, when it's the right time, God will show you. And so from that point, I'm talking about after selling the business at the end of 2020 into early 21, when it was totally finished, the sale, I was, as I said, continue on everything I was doing. So working with the products, doing regenerative stem cell, using someone else's clinic, setting up new name for the business, all the marketing stuff you need. Always Novital, because I owned the trade name, did not sell that because the skincare line is of the same name. So I was busy doing that, doing regenerative stem cell for patients, using a friend's clinic, and trying to decide where I should really, hang my hat. As I said, I don't have to repeat all that. But once I saw that, I went back to the front of this building, through that door again, over to the other building, and asked the lady, because there was one room of all this chaos that was empty. And she said to me that the landlord was now renting these because they had been just going month to month during COVID. I said, "So that building is available?" She said, "Yes." So she called the landlord, and the rest is history. We are here. Almost 5 years later, basically, different circumstance. I'm hesitating because there's so many little pieces, but at the end of last year, 25, two of the gals that rented rooms for me started their own little business. Well, they had their own businesses. They just were renting rooms, but they left to start. They rented a little house, and they didn't know. They didn't know that the lease was up at the end of 27. So that was Christmas of 25. They didn't know that. They just, were entrepreneurs themselves, and it was time for them to move on down the road, which I really encouraged because they had been employees of mine for a long time at the large luxury day medical wellness spa, Novitas Spa Medical Rejuvenation Clinic. So those two rooms were open, and I, in prayer, said, "Lord, should I rent these?" Even though knowing that I was not going to renew the lease in the end of 26. And I just knew as I knew I wasn't supposed to. It would be too tumultuous. Getting people in for 6 months, it was silly. So at the beginning of this year, 26, the landlord, again, that same person, I saw him outside these buildings, and he shared that they were going to be down the road refacading these buildings. Then, that was that. I mean, even though I'm part of this whole strip, he didn't say anything about, doing it immediately. They were just looking, planning, all that stuff. And then about a month ago, he called me and asked if he could come in and bring an asbestos abater, because these are old buildings, and he had to share that he was working on getting permits to gut all of these buildings. So I realized he didn't put any pressure on me about leaving and expediting that, no. But he did share that. And so I just in prayer said, Father, am I supposed to go now? And I heard an open door. Again, Isaiah 60:22. When the time is right, God will make it happen. And so I emailed the gentleman, and I didn't say anything about the gutting or the abatement or any of that. I just said, could I leave earlier? And he said yes. Because it helps him be able to make plans and not have one thing stand up the process, you know. And so it just, when it's time, God will open that door and you can walk through. Ask, seek, knock. So it's a little longer story tonight of sharing, but I want you to understand the why. The why. Again, that clarity. I've known that it was time to really put my focus on consulting. So I've been doing that for well, really 8 years, with health and wellness, regenerative wellness. And so it's time, and I'm working also not only for the consumer, but I'm also going to be working with other biologic companies with mediums products for the medical aesthetics, for meaning practices. And so I'm going to be educating and training and doing and utilizing all of this experience that I've had for the last 40 years of starting, scaling, sustaining, because I'm also doing a project with my manufacturer of the clinical skincare products to do private label licensing my formulas, and helping salons, spas, estheticians have their own brand. And we're going to be educating the trade as well. So it's a aesthetic dynamic, it's a regenerative dynamic, and tying the two together with my skincare products, Novitas Spa Clinicals, LifeWave, and the perinatal biologics, helping others identify their dreams, goals, and desires and help you attain them. So this weekend, I'm doing that estate sale. So if you're in the area, please do come over, because I would love to meet you. And I'm just excited about what the Lord has for not only myself, but other people that I may not even know yet. And lastly, my Queen's Court ministry, there's things percolating with that as well. So God, as I say, is moving the furniture. So listen to that still, quiet, small voice. Ask, seek, knock. He will open. He will guide. He will open. He will show you. And Isaiah 60:22, at the right time, the Lord will make it happen. I didn't have to figure out if I'm going back to Connecticut, Long Island, New York City, Fort Worth. He will make it happen. Go home, he said. Go home. This is home. This has been home, and it's time. And I'm not moving. I'm just, meaning personally, I'm just closing this brick and mortar. This responsibility is going to be off my shoulders. And I will be working remotely, and I will be doing Zooms with clients and medical practices and my teams all over the country for LifeWave, that I'm helping them start their businesses. I'm excited. Do come this weekend if you're in town, if you're in the area. And I will see you soon for another installment of the Propel expansion Release and Be Ready that I'm talking about. I started last week, 21 days before the 31st of July. Thanks so much, guys. And remember, It's never too early or too late to create the life of your dreams. So go to propel.megandimartino.com/info. That's my link tree. And my book, Over the Hope and Possibilities, is there. My TED Talk, Transforming the Human Experience Through Creative Disruption. The Propel program is there, but free of charge is the Propel community. Join me there. So it's all there and much more, but all at propel.megandimartino.com/info, and information also about LifeWave. So remember, it's never too early or too late to create the life of your dreams. See you tomorrow, and be blessed.